All right, it's season 27, episode 10 of The Bachelor. Now, before you say anything, I know I didn't have anything for the tell-all. I might do an episode like at the end of the season because obviously there's still one more episode, but maybe. I don't know. Well, I'll think about it. I didn't find it too exciting. I mean, of course, there was a little bit of drama and stuff, but yeah, we'll figure that out later. But alas, we are in Thailand, baby. And right off the hop, Zach expresses how important this week is just to spend time with each of these wonderful women and how exciting of an experience it will be to get engaged in Thailand. All three ladies are excited to see Zach, as the last time they would have seen him would have been in their hometowns. So it's been pushing on 1, 2, 3 weeks since some of these ladies have seen Zach. So they're all very anxious. And of course, this is Fantasy Suite week. So, there are emotions are running high. Expectations are probably running high as well. But at the same time, hopefully everyone can contain themselves and make the most out of the situation. Jesse 2 Jack Palmer talks to Zach about his past with this week, as obviously he was on The Bachelorette and things spiraled for him during the Fantasy Suite week. Had his heart ripped out of his chest is the term I believe they used. Zach also vehemently states that there is going to be no sex during the Fantasy Suite week and the overnight stays. Jesse 2 Jack Palmer seeming skeptical, but aside from that, he admires his determination and his decision maintain those boundaries and prevent any sort of crazy situation. Ariel is up first, and she, as well as Zach, are excited to be in Thailand. They hop on a motorized rickshaw, takes them to this night market. Right away, they dig into some of the weird stuff that you might see in a foreign country at a night market. They're eating all sorts of things: crickets, squid, intestines, brains, all sorts of weird different bugs, and the crazy part is they were all into it too. Like the first one that they tried, it was there, they gave it like, oh my God, this is delicious. Honestly, I couldn't tell what it was. Kind of looked like a oversized maggot or something, but apparently it was good. So they're off doing their thing. Back at the telly, we see Gabbi. She's, writing in her diary. She goes up to look at the window. Now, the way they filmed this, it showed Ariel and Zach walking along. It's kind of dark around the hotel. I don't know 100% sure if when she looked out, or maybe she heard voices, she looked out, saw them, whatever. But she started to get into her own head a little bit, start to get into a little bit of a spiral situation. Back to the date. Ariel finally tells Zach she's falling for him. And from there, Zach hands her the envelope for the Fantasy Suite. After she reads it, Zach kind of puts it on pause and says, hey, I want you to know that we are not necessarily we, but he tells her his plan is that he's not going to have sex during the overnights during Fantasy Suite week because he doesn't feel that it would be proper for him to engage in such actions with an engagement around the corner. So essentially, he doesn't want to bang 2 other chicks before, getting engaged to the one chick that he loves. And, good for him. If that's his intention, and he tends to stick to it, good for him. It's definitely a lot more than other people could probably say in that situation. Ariel expresses that she's disappointed in that decision, but she respects it. And she says she's just happy that she's going to be able to spend time with Zach and they can get to know each other on an even deeper level over the course of the night. Their fantasy suite is dope. Personal infinity pool in the back. There's a big ass king size bed, shows them Zach getting ready to go in the pool. Ariel walks out in this bikini. Zach looks stunned and he's thinking, I'm sure at this point, what the hell was I thinking? Why did I say no? That kind of thing. But they cut to the bedroom, them going to bed. And I'm like thinking, is this about to go down? Is this what happens? Next morning, they're in bed, having a good time, having a good laugh. They wake up. It appears as though they did not have sexual relations. And so, congrats and good job for Zach. Can he hold out the entire time? Who knows? There's 2 more dates that he has left. So this might not hold. So from there, Gabbi is up next, and she's hoping to pick up right where they left off after the hometown date in Vermont. For their date, they're going to this private island via this cool looking pirate ship. It's pretty dope. Gabbi from there tells Zach how she feels, just about how she felt like she was second because he chose her second. She walks off crying. Zach is like, what's going on? Goes up to her. They talk it out, and she just like lets it all out on the table, just lets it loose. And he's just like, yo, pump the brakes, homie. First of all, I enjoy our time here together, blah, 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 all that good stuff. He reassures her essentially that there's nothing, the order in which they have the dates, there's nothing to it. There's no method to his madness in terms of that, and that it was purely coincidental. He didn't put any thought to it. Simply what it is. So they're having dinner. Zach hands her the envelope, and Gabbi reads it. She's excited. Zach tells Gabbi the same thing he told Ariel, I've committed to myself to not having sex this week just because of, the whole scenario, the situation. And she's a little bit confused. And she stresses that, she wasn't expecting that. It's a little, strange to her, and she also mentions like, she didn't expect to not have sex with somebody before they get engaged, but it is what it is. Much like Ariel, though, she says she understands, and she's just looking forward to spending the night getting to know Zach a little better, exploring each other, I guess. And, in her little one-on-one interview with the producers, she says, if it happens, it happens kind of thing. So right there, when she said that, I felt like, maybe there's a little bit of ulterior motive, not in the sense of her being there, but she's probably like, no, we're going to have sex. She pretty much made up her mind there, I'd say. After that, she leaves in the morning, hugs and kisses, all that good stuff. You couldn't really tell, anything crazy went on or anything like that. But then it shows Zach talking to Jesse. And while they're talking, Zach admits that him and Gabbi were intimate on their overnight one-on-one fantasy suite date. It's kind of strange to me. Zach, maybe not strange. I shouldn't say strange. Zach feels bad about it, obviously, because he said, from the get-go, he said, no sex during this week. I want to keep things fresh for everybody, respect everybody, all that good stuff. My question is, I wonder exactly what Gabbi was doing to him, or, what kind of things she was pulling out of that tickle trunk to make him crumble at the knees and give up the D. That's what I'd like to know. Because, Zach, with Ariel, I thought it would have went down with Ariel for sure. It was surprising to me that it didn't. So, like I said, good for him. But what is Gabbi's secret weapon? I guess is what I'm asking. So anyways, Zach expressed to Jesse that, I think it's right for me to tell the other ladies what happened, what went on, because, I told him what my intention was. He just needs to get it off his chest, essentially. So before his date with Katie, Zach goes to Gabbi's hotel suite to let her know that he's going to tell Katie. He feels he needs to tell Katie and Ariel. It didn't show him telling Ariel, but he needs to tell Katie and Ariel that, I said I wasn't going to sleep with anybody, but I did. And, full transparency kind of thing. Gabbi, under the impression, she's like, I don't think that's anybody else's information to know, but if that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. She was a little taken back. Like I said, she believes that he shouldn't have to tell the other women. And quite frankly, she's caught off guard, and she's lost a little bit of trust over this situation as well. All right. So that leaves us to Katie. They start their date out by taking a canoe ride through this forest jungle looking situation. Looked pretty fun. They're on a canoe. They're on the water. It's raining. It's romantic. It's dark. It seems like such a nice romantic situation. So they pull off to the side. They're talking, and Zach, it's eating him alive that he's done one thing or said one thing and done another. He tells her that, he wasn't planning on having sex with any of the women prior to engagement. That had happened. And obviously, Katie's sitting here listening to this. I just wonder what was going on in her mind when Zach is telling her, I slept with one of the other girls. even though I said I wasn't going to, and I'm sorry. It's like, what? I wonder what, because I mean, if you think about it, this is like, it's a very unique situation. Okay. One in which, I feel like the girls might have already prepared themselves for this to happen and wouldn't really want to necessarily discuss the happenings of the previous date. So like off the hop, Katie is speechless. You know, you could see it in her eyes. She's just like confused, doesn't know what to think, you know, that kind of thing. You know, she expressed she knew this could happen, but wouldn't expect it. And, you know, she's getting emotional and pretty much just says, you know, I would have rather you not tell me that. And just, you know, I just let that thought fizzle away. And I totally understand her sentiment. You know, it's one of those things like, yeah, I would have rather not known that. And she expresses that, you know, she's not happy about it, obviously. She feels weird. And quite honestly, this might be the end for her. Like at this point, I'm thinking Katie isn't even going to show up to the dinner. She is just going to, you know, hop on a plane, take her ass back to Austin, Texas, and, you know, start her own little process all over again. So, you know, Katie was number 2 prospect on my list, and I feel like this might be the end for her. She says, continually says to say she feels distant. She feels weird. This is right after he told her as well, right? So, you know, I think she just needed a little bit of time to think about it. And, you know, after what seemed to be quite the deliberation during the rest of the day, after Zach dropped that bombshell, Katie does show up to the dinner. Looking great, looking fabulous. And they talk it out. Katie expressed, you know, she needed some time to think about it, and, you know, considering the type of process they're going through right now, she feels she would have missed out if she didn't show up to dinner. You know, they share a passionate kiss, talking out, everything is all good from what it seems in the meantime, and he hands her the envelope for the fantasy suite. She accepts, and, you know, she understands. She says she understands the complexity of the situation they're in and chooses to move forward from here on out. That is the 3 dates. On to the rose ceremony, which, you know, pretty eventful episode up to this point. You know, just Gabbi, the way she was feeling after Zach said he was going to tell the other ladies what happened, and Katie, after hearing what happened, just how emotional she was as well. So this is a wild little situation. Definitely not what anyone could or would expect. But we have 3 women, 2 roses. Who is it going to be? Rose 1 goes to Katie. Now, personally, I thought she was doomed. I didn't think she was going to get a rose. And from then on, I was feeling bad for my girl Ariel, because rose number 2 went to Gabbi. And honestly, I think this might just solidify that Katie is going to be the one he chooses, because I believe, and this is just my opinion, I believe he only chose Gabbi because he had slept with her and he didn't want to seem like one of those guys to hit it and quit it. Honestly, I think he should have chose Ariel over Gabbi. I think he should have chose Ariel over Katie. I think Ariel was probably, in my opinion, the best choice for him. But you know what? I'm not Zach. I'm just Richard. And quite frankly, the choice is not mine. Therefore, we have our 2 finalists, Katie and Gabbi. Who do you think is going to be? One little thing. After Zach walked Ariel out to the vehicle, they had a chat. And by the way, Ariel was so sweet when they were saying goodbye. She was like, you know what? I wouldn't have wanted to do this with anybody other than you. Thank you for allowing me to open up. It's been amazing. You know, she was very, very grateful for the situation, the opportunity. And, you know, I feel bad for her. You know, she was down for the cause. I really think Zach, you know, should have chose her. But like I said, that decision's not up to me. I'm not marrying her. I'm not, you know, she's not the one. I'm not spending the rest of my life with her. So who knows? Who knows what his reasoning was? But Katie says to Gabbi, I know you're the only one. And Gabby's like, oh my God, now I feel like I've got like an A on my chest or something. She's feeling really, I don't even know if I'd say insecure. She's feeling some type of way about the fact that Katie knows. That's, you know, that's the thing with telling these girls what happened. It's like these, you know, things might get a little strange up in the telly, you know, if they're spending time together, that kind of thing. So, you know, that's what it is. Guys, what do you think? Do you think he should have chose Ariel? What move do you think Gabbi used on Zach in order to get him to sleep with her? Like, my goodness. And who do you think it's going to be? in the end, is it going to be Katie? Is it going to be Gabbi from Vermont with the maple syrup? You know, Katie lives in Austin, Texas already. They've had themselves a little bit of taste of what day-to-day life is going to be like out in Austin, Texas. So this is definitely a big decision. Both of these girls as well, actually, I should mention, are feeling a little sketchy about the situation just based on what Zach said and what he did. So it's next week, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what goes on. Definitely going to be interested to see what goes on. Aside from that, my name is Richard. Thank you for watching. Hit subscribe, hit the like button. And this has been your 5-minute fix.